Here we are.
Here we are. Yep. Here we are. All right. So I have to just bring this up, Lancaster. There's a little bit of trouble here going on with Gardner's Mattress and More, and our partnership that Ben and I have. It dismays me a little bit. I sat all morning and the first part of the afternoon across from this gentleman. And he didn't notice my haircut.
I didn't.
It took our producer from Atlanta to notice it from across the screen. I feel,
I offer my deepest sympathies. In my defense, you do get your haircut often.
About every 4 weeks.
Is it every 4 weeks? Okay, I'd guess 3. But
whereas your plan is like be the head model for the Flowbee at about 9 weeks in.
A great clip it, man. Great clips it, man.
That's what it is.
Yeah. It gets a little rough after a couple months up here.
Yeah.
So like if I said nice haircut once every 3 weeks or 4 weeks, that'd have been a lot of times in the last 12 years.
It would be appreciated.
Okay.
It'd be nice to know that you notice me around here.
My apologies.
Anyway, a little bit of fun to start off the show. Thanks for watching. It's not always jokes. We do bring you great guests that are doing great things here in Lancaster, great small businesses, great charities that are helping our community out. That's what this show is all about. Supporting the community that supports our business. That's why we started it. That's why we continue to do it. And we're happy to have you here watching, listening, learning, checking out our guests, listening to what they have to share about what they love about Lancaster. So we do prizes here. Actually, this week's prizes, you want to hold them up or do you want me to?
I'll be Vanna.
Okay, Vanna. So these are courtesy of our guest, Steve Goble from the Goble Group. So we'll talk about those a little later, but you get that amazing book prize pack by commenting. We love when you comment on the show. So just type in your comments. We'll get to them as we go through.
I'd like to hear what the viewers think of your haircut.
Well, we're taking the poll. Chris put it up. See, you're just not paying attention again.
I missed it.
I missed it. See, I mean, you might have thought it was funny, but like, seriously, this guy is like, he's just in his own world. He had a record show up just before, so he's dreaming of the records.
Sometimes that happens. Yep.
You know, it's just all just fun and games up there for him. And he just, I'm just, of course, kidding. At any rate. Yes, you can comment on the show. If you want to comment on my haircut, which I should actually think about this a little more. I got a haircut for the commercial shoot we did, and I had to time that so it looked just right. So I go real tight on the sides and the back, which is with what's called a skin fade. Okay. So I go right down to the skin low and then bring it up. I should think about haircuts in relation to the show. Normally I get them on Tuesdays, but this one I did Friday.
So how long?
It takes about a week.
Okay. You knew where I was going with it.
Yeah. 1 week is prime Jeff hair.
Okay.
1 week.
All right.
So,
but now what if the haircut is botched? Then you have to do it over or start the week over, or
there's not much left if you botch it.
Yeah. I was going to say
yeah. That's why you got to go to the pros.
That's true. That's
why I go to see Wilson, and Wilson is great. So anyway, yes. So comment on the show. You can comment on my haircut. You won't hurt my feelings if you don't think it's great. It would at least be nice to be acknowledged, unlike what I get from this gentleman here. So anyhow, we do prizes this week. The prizes are the great book gift pack from Steve. So we'll talk more about that a little later, but get commenting in and we'll get you in the prize letter at the end of the show. Speaking of the show, where can you watch it?
Facebook, Gardener's Mattress and More Facebook page, the Lancaster Connects Facebook page. Search us up on Facebook. Also on YouTube, Lancaster Connects has a YouTube channel, and Gardener's Mattress and More has a YouTube channel. Producer Chris puts them live stream right there on YouTube. Yes, there we go. Confetti. Is it confetti for the? Oh, it's for the YouTube. I thought that was for your hair, potentially, like a late hair confetti.
Listen, it's too late. Okay, we've moved on. You missed your chance to acknowledge it. We're moving forward.
I wonder if Chris can put a toupee or some sort of hat on you at some point. That would be
a little fancy man, gentleman podcaster hat.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's also on LinkedIn. Our guest, who we will announce and bring on just in a little bit, shared this episode on his LinkedIn page. Yep. So we are on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
So anywhere that
all over the place.
Get your media, also various podcast channels. I'm not going to list them all.
The podcasts
to list, but Apple and Spotify are two big ones.
Here's what I like the most about this show. So if it's 9:30 at night and you're wondering, well, kind of like I've ran through all the series I want to run through, nothing else interests me, you could search up Lancaster Connects and you'll find it through your smart TV and you get to watch us on TV, which I think is just pretty cool.
Yep.
So lots of great places to take us in. We've got some cool guests coming up next week. It's this duo for the whole show. So we're going to do that. We've got something exciting to talk about for our Gardeners Gives Back initiative. So we want to talk about that a little bit and figured it was time to focus a little bit on the things that we've got going on in and around here at Gardeners Mattress and More and Records.
And the following week, we have Diana Vuolo.
I'm glad you took that one.
Pronunciation to be maybe confirmed by our guest, but she founded a really cool charity in Lancaster called Swan for Kids. It's a music-based charity. So I won't give all the details away. You'll have to tune in on Monday, the 25th, with our chat with Diana. I'm excited about that one.
I am excited too. I want to see how close you got her name.
Vuolo is my guess.
That's the second version. So we'll see. All right. Without too much further ado, I guess it's time to bring our guest on. Why don't you do it? Because you've been working with Steve this whole time.
Yeah.
I don't want to come in and steal the thunder now.
All right. Our guest today is Steve Goble from the Goble Group. Steve is also on the board at Power Packs. That's how he found us. He's been a fan of Lancaster Connects for a few months now. We highlighted Power Packs back in December, and Brad, fantastic organization. So we'll talk to Steve about Power Packs, and then of course his business, the Goble Group. Steve, welcome to Lancaster Connects.
Welcome, guys. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here. And I think your haircut looks great, Jeff. I do, man.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. Thanks for noticing. It's nice to have something. It's nice to have it be noticed.
Hey, that's what new friends are for.
That's right.
So thank you, Steve. Thanks for doing what I couldn't do earlier today.
I'm trying to help you out by doing that as well, Ben. You know, I mean, I'm trying to encourage you, my friend.
That's right. Thank you. So we mentioned Power Packs. That's how you found us. You are on the board of Power Packs. We at Lancaster Connects like to try to give back and highlight some of the great things going on in Lancaster County. Obviously, we like to highlight charities and small nonprofits in Lancaster County. Power Packs is a really cool special one. To remind our listeners who may not have watched the episode back in December with Brad from Power Packs, what is the mission of the Power Packs project?
Power Packs project is a mission to provide youth in Lancaster and Lebanon County with healthy meals for the family over the weekends. It was founded 15 years ago by Joan Esmashade. Once you realize that, there's students in our school districts here locally that are going hungry over the weekend. So we are unique in the aspect that we provide healthy food, but we also provide recipes to go with the healthy food we provide so that the family can come together in activity around the table, around the kitchen, to have this healthy food, to minimize, one less thing about some challenges that they might be going through. We collaborate with the school districts. Again, we're in 17 schools in Lancaster and Lebanon counties. They help to the schools determine what students are eligible, and they reach out to them and say, hey, we have this program through Power Packs. You want to be involved? But it's about, providing that healthy food for kids so they come to school ready to learn on Monday morning.
Yep. Yeah, no, we had Brad Peterson on from Power Packs back in December. It was a great episode. Really, I mean, you folks, you sit on the board, so we'll have you talk a little bit about what you do there.
Yeah.
But, I think one thing out of COVID that happened is you had the USDA giving 2 meals a day to every kid in America through the school, through the child's local school system.
Right.
As best I can tell, maybe you've heard, that's going to wrap up here this end of this school year.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we have heard. Obviously we watch what goes on from a political standpoint, governmental standpoint, and you take that and combine with the inflation we're seeing, and the reality is it's going to hit those individuals and families and the kids we serve the hardest,
right,
over the next few months, next few weeks. But we have some great partners. We get fresh eggs from a local farm agency, gives us a ton of fresh eggs every few months that we distribute. We get milk from Harrisburg Dairies, and then we have such great partners locally, volunteers helping us to make sure this food gets in the hands of the kids that need it again over the weekends, so that they're ready to come back to school and learn and Monday morning. But that episode you guys did with Brad was awesome, and that's where I found you.
Yeah. And I mentioned and listen, I don't have a crystal ball into federal policy, but I just mention it for our listeners and really to, maybe get a check in with you being on the board there at Power Packs. Prior to COVID, the program for meal assistance was all done on a needs-based assessment through the school. USDA rolled it out where you're going to get a breakfast and a lunch 5 days a week. Whereas before, you had to have a specific need for that. Now it's just available. So that's been great. But I bring it up that, if you're a business, if you're somebody that can provide food assistance, clue in locally through Power Packs, through your local school district, through a food bank, because the need's going to be pretty intense. It's been about 18 months now of this, and it would seem like it's going to come to an end. So we'll see, but it's always a good idea to pay attention to charities around the county anyway, and this is a great one.
Yeah, and there's a ton of opportunity to serve Power Packs and other great charities here locally that are doing things for the community, based here locally. But food insecurity is definitely, that's our focus at Power Packs, is food insecurity. And we'd love to have you on board as a volunteer. We'd love to have you on board as a business. Financial support. Lots of opportunities to jump in on board and get involved.
Yeah.
Steve, 2 questions. What drove you to be on the board, and how long have you been on the board at Power Packs?
Well, I've been on the board for a little over 2 years now. Actually coming up on 3. It'll be 3 here next month in April. I joined in 2019. I was one of those kids growing up. I was raised in a single parent household. We lived off welfare. I was one of those kids growing up who got free breakfast and free lunch at school where I lived. And, it's a small way that I can give back of, time, treasure, and talent. My business is a small business. I don't have much treasure yet financially, but I'd like to think I'm talented. The board thinks I'm talented. They invited me to join, and I can give my time back to help serve other kids, because I've been in their shoes. I've gone to school hungry before as a kid. I know what it's like to show up on a Monday morning and not, and be thankful to have a breakfast. And this is a small way that I can give back and encourage others, the listeners, find something that you're passionate about and invest your time, treasure, or talent as you see fit and as you're appropriate. There's a number of great, nonprofit organizations here in Lancaster that could value your assistance.
Yeah. And we talk about, you've referenced now time, treasure, and talent a few times. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Maybe that's something we can cover as we talk a little deeper on the business side of things. But we've talked numerous times here about if you don't have the financial means to donate, or financially are committed elsewhere, but you have extra time to do that. So what are some of the volunteer opportunities that you could call to for people to help Power Packs out?
We're always in need. We have a base of volunteers, but there's always opportunities to come and see what we're doing at our warehouse. We have 2 locations. One in our main location here is Lancaster, but we do have a small warehouse in Lebanon to help pack the bags and pack the backpacks or boxes for the kids, but also just to help organize the warehouse from a standpoint of getting our shipments in and help logistical aspects of that. Is a great way to come and use your time as a business to bring your team, or as an individual just to come say, hey, Brad Peterson, our executive director, will find help, find ways to utilize your services if you volunteer your time.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is I don't know a single charity that we've had on the show that would turn somebody away if they're going to donate time. So
right, yeah.
If you're so inclined, they're going to find a home for your talents, for you to give them your time and use those talents, even if it's just picking things up and putting things down. They'll find a way to have you help there as well.
Yeah.
So there was a follow-up question that I had right on the tip of my tongue that just went right out. And anyway,
it went with the hair.
If it comes back, I'll be here.
It did.
Steve, what are some other local charities and nonprofit organizations in Lancaster that you either are aware of or like to support or want to give mention to on the show?
Yeah. Well, big fans of Blessings of Hope. They work very collaboratively with Power Packs, and they're a faith-based organization doing a lot of things locally here, but also on a wider scale. So they do a phenomenal job from the food distribution aspect. I'm a big fan of Pregnancy Resources at Cornerstone. They're based in the Gap, which is a forgotten part of Lancaster County sometimes because they're so far away. But they help single moms, young parents who are going through some pregnancy challenges or not sure about what they're doing with expecting a child, and provide resources for them through programs, through earning needed supplies to have a positive birthing experience. In our church, the church my wife and I attend, we've hosted a baby shower for them the last couple of years. So that's something that we're really passionate about. And then Hope International. Hope International is a great local charity that, from a business perspective, they help to provide entrepreneurial loans in other places. And they're based here in Lancaster. They are an international organization, but the story behind Hope, I don't know if you're familiar with Jeff Rutt from Keystone Custom Homes, but the story behind Hope International is phenomenal.
What was the second one you mentioned? The pregnancy one?
Pregnancy Resources at Cornerstone, down in the Gap, the far eastern part of Lancaster. Often neglected just because there's a lot of nothing between here and there.
Where the lighthouse is.
I was just thinking.
Yeah, there's that lighthouse. There's the clock tower.
Yeah, it's clock. Yeah.
It's the clock tower.
That's an inside joke around these parts. One of our Lancaster famous former employees, Pete Ruggieri, it was kind of funny. He started this satire site, and there you go, Jonna, the lighthouse. That it was a lighthouse in Gap and not a clock tower. And like, people took this serious and really became indignant about the fact that
it was a clock.
It was a clock in reality, but it kept being called a lighthouse, and all kinds of fun and games spooled off of this random thought. And I think that went on for a couple of years.
It's probably still going on.
But
yes. Maybe we just brought it back.
We just might have. We might have. So Rich says hello. Rich McKee from Lancaster says hello. Hi, Rich. How are you? We've had John Esman tune in from My Missing. Hey, John. And super fan. We how Facebook gives you these badges. We need badges. Jonna has she has unlocked the Lancaster Connect super fan badge.
Yep.
So
did she rate your haircut though? Did she rate your haircut yet?
We have no responses yet to the
Yeah. It's I'm gonna blame the lighting if I don't get all fives.
It'll probably be like an average of 3.7 or something like that if we have multiple votes. And
my 3.7 haircut.
3.7 haircut.
Yeah. So, all right, Rich. I remember now what it was. I wanted to make mention of about Power Packs, and then we'll move on to the things you do with your business. So the thing I like the most about Power Packs is you're not just giving out food. You're really kind of creating family time. Yeah. Is what I learned from Brad about. You kind of pack up the kit, you give the items, you give the recipe, and then it's like, here, bring the family together for the meals throughout the weekend, and I guess even in the evenings too throughout the week. But I think that's a really cool part and byproduct of all the efforts there.
Yeah, that's one thing that definitely differentiates us than other backpack programs. There's backpack programs across the country. Right. But the fresh food, the milk, the eggs, and that recipe to bring those families, those individuals together, it does, that's what we get a lot of positive feedback from participants is, hey, we enjoyed this time together. Thank you very much. It goes beyond just the food.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think especially if you're a single parent, today, I mean, life is just moving fast, and to have intentionality throughout the week built in where you're going to be together as a family. I mean, I think that's such a nice, I think that's probably the biggest benefit of Power Packs, in my opinion, would be to show those kids about, to foster that family environment, which is, again, I can't talk about enough. So I think it's great.
And it helps, hopefully, obviously we're not in the kitchens when they're doing stuff, but hopefully they're also learning to cook a little bit. That's an underrated skill that has huge dividends. I mentioned one of the reasons, the reasons I joined the board was I was one of those kids growing up who got free food at school. I learned to cook because single parent household. If I wanted something other than cereal, I often had to make it myself. So that was one of the benefits for me growing up. And I really love that, like you said, that family atmosphere that it brings together and teaches kids, how to cook and how to read a recipe and how to do things and put it together.
Yeah. No, it's all good stuff. And I like how it perpetuates more than just the act of giving. So all great stuff. Keep it up. And we'll maybe look to catch up with Brad maybe later in the year and have him back on.
I'm sure Brad loved coming back on.
Yep.
You got a 5. You got 5 stars.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Rodney. There we go. 5-star haircut.
Yeah. His haircut's tight like yours.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
You guys got to stick together.
We know.
Steve, well, let's transition to the Goble Group. What is the Goble Group all about?
Making lives better for people. I do that through leadership development and corporate training. I'm a founding partner of the Maxwell Leadership Team, formerly known as the John Maxwell Team. But my business started a little over 11 years ago now, and just wanted to have an impact on building people up. Despite the technological advances that we have, and even the last 5-10 years, I'm a firm believer that business and relationships still come down to the people. And that's what I work with my clients to do through executive coaching, through team training, through corporate work, just to build up people as individuals, as teams, to help them achieve the goals they want to achieve, help them accomplish their dreams, and make their lives better. So that's what that's it in a nutshell. Something simple, I think. I hope anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of people set out in business and they have an idea, they have a skill, they have a talent, and then life comes at them fast and business comes at them fast, and they have to hire people and manage those relationships. So on that note, I mean, what does the journey look like when somebody comes with you, comes in to know you? Like, where do you start and where do you end, or is it something that just continues?
Well, everything starts with a conversation. To figure out, get to know somebody, figure out what they want to do, figure out what they define success as. because what I define success as is different than everybody else, and that's okay. So learning more about who they are, who they want to become, what their focus is, both short-term and long-term. And then, some of the relationships from a professional standpoint last 3, 4, 5 years, and then the friendship remains. Others, they're short-term, 6 months, 12 months, contracts, just to help organizations or individuals get through a specific period of their time or focus on a challenge. And then others are just some events I do, like one-off events I do. I'll do a 2-hour seminar on communication. I'll do a training on leadership, and do a half-day event on professional development, whatever it is. But it's really meeting people where they're at and then helping them get to where they want to go. But it always starts with conversation.
Yeah.
Steve, you're a certified human behavior consultant. What does that mean?
Yes. Certified human behavior consultants. There is a science-based behavioral assessment called DISC. I'm sure you guys have probably heard of it. The company, I'm actually certified DISC with 2 different organizations, but one of the organizations, Personality Insights, grants you that title of certified human behavior consultant. And what that really means is that I've been trained to help individuals and people understand relationships better, understand themselves better through the scientific methodology of DISC, but also talks about emotional intelligence and how to relate to people in ways to help accomplish the goals they want to accomplish and have positive, healthy relationships.
Yep.
So it's just a fancy title in some ways, but we do a lot of work with it.
Yep. Yeah. I'll tell a little funny story about this, if I may.
You're welcome.
My first interaction with the DISC profile was when I was on the wholesale side of this industry. So Gardeners used to be a customer of mine. That's how Ben and I got to know one another. And I represented a number of factories, mostly, mattress and bedroom related. So kids furniture, bedroom furniture, bunk beds, mattresses, and the like. And this company came to me recommended by, I think, 7 or 8 of my retailers that I sold to take over the territory for this factory. And the factory rep, the vice president of sales or something, said, well, we do things a little differently around here. We're going to have you take this personality test. And I'm probably, I don't know, 27, 28 at the time, like, personality test. I'll just go sell stuff for you. That's what I want to do. That's what you need. I think 8 or 9 of my guys recommended me, but sure. Okay. I'll go take this thing. Mm-hmm. So I take it. And, I guess the report came back that I wasn't exactly a fit. And I said, well, what are you looking for? And they really couldn't explain it. It seemed like it was just this new thing that seemed to be on corporate management's radar. So, for me, I kind of, at 28 or wherever, I kind of was like, well, listen, when you decide you want somebody to go sell your stuff, just call me. Okay. Until then, I'm not going to play these games, type of thing. Because it was a lot of back and forth. 6 months later, the factory's out of business. Anyway, I'm sure for you hearing that, where did that, obviously, where was the failure? And feel free to say on my part or on their part, but where was the failure in that? Because I'm a believer in those tests now. I've been around.
No, absolutely.
I understand it.
The failure was in their part trying to put you in a little box. Any type of, any DISC, any Myers-Briggs, any of these enneagrams, they're not designed to put people into a box and say you're only good at this, or you're only supposed to do this. They're designed to help reveal more intimate knowledge about yourself, but also help you to share that with others so they know how to work with you in a positive way. And that's one of the challenges that a lot of individuals who take DISC or take Myers-Briggs or take the Enneagram kind of thing is that, okay, this is what this test says you are. This is how you always are. And this is how we expect you to behave. And the reality is our human nature is a mix of a lot of different things, including who we're with, the environment we're in, our upbringing. DISC is meant to give you a baseline understanding of where to start within that relationship. So that company definitely missed the boat there on that, trying to pigeonhole you to what they thought you should be. So that's on them, not you.
Yeah. It was the most intriguing thing that I seen, and in a way I wanted to be accepted because they said no, right? But I just realized, well, listen, I mean, I was recommended, and I'm like, well, if they can't see it from 8 or 9 very warm referrals, half of which they did business with presently, and the rest of them they did at some point in prior to that, I'm like, well, okay, no problem. I can go sell other things, and I did.
Their loss.
I'm glad that happened because that closed door led to this path where I had the opportunity on April 11th, 2022 to neglect your haircut. So that's
I thought you were going to say it led to us becoming business partners.
No, I went the other direction.
No, he shot you down again. That's not good. That's not good. He shot you down again.
Yeah.
Steve,
go ahead.
You have a podcast. You're a podcast guy. What's the name of your podcast? When do you offer it, and what's it about?
The podcast I co-host with my buddy Scott is called A Dram of Leadership. We launch new episodes every Monday, like 7 a.m., something like that. Thankfully, Scott does all the technical stuff because that's not my wheelhouse. And we're strictly in audio, so you don't get to see my ugly face, on a weekly basis. It's strictly audio. But I love to read books. My buddy Scott loves to read books. And we, instead of talking about it over beers ourselves, we decided, okay, let's record this and see if we what's out there from a standpoint of what kind of listenership. So we launched it January of 2021. January 31st was our first podcast, just last year. And one of the things we were intentional about doing was going around to local breweries or local small independent shops in Central PA with good craft beer, good craft whiskey, and recording live as much as possible in the restaurant.
Nice.
So, and we didn't ask permission. We just kind of took our computers, our microphones, and set up, and we tried to hide away in a corner, and we'd go on times where it was not a loud background noise and not a lot of disruption. We always paid for our own food. We paid for our own beer. We gave them a shot. We give the venue a shout out while we're there. Just to support the small business restaurant industry while having fun and enjoying a good conversation around books. My buddy Scott is the vice president of learning and development for a local, multi-billion-dollar organization. So he adds a lot of credibility to knowledge and learning. And again, it's two guys similar to you guys, getting together, having a good time, discussing good books, talking about the beer we're drinking or talking about the whiskey we're drinking, and trying to support local small business.
Yeah.
So we recently hit the 1,000 downloads.
That's a big mark. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's a passion project for both of us. We it's something a side hustle for both of us still, kind of like this is for you guys probably.
Yep.
But it's fun, and everybody needs to have an outlet of some sort, a hobby, something to just do for fun, and this is one of those for me. Again, it's the Dram of Leadership, and we talk whiskey, beer, and books. Mostly books.
I gotta know, Ben might ask you. I'll let Ben ask you about what he likes, but for me, so who's got the best craft whiskey in the area?
Stolen Wolf, hands down, in my opinion. I love the Stolen Wolf distillery.
My wife got me a bottle of that for Christmas.
I'm a big rye guy, and if you listen to the podcast, I'm always drinking a rye whiskey. Scott likes to mix up his whiskeys, and I'm a rye guy. But the Stolen Wolf distillery in Lidditz has a phenomenal rye whiskey.
Yep.
That is just it's up there.
Sounds like they'd be a good podcast guest.
I think we need to take a page out of Steve's book and go.
That would be
Stolen Wolf,
cool.
Absolutely. Yeah,
take the show on the road.
Yep, or at least bring the product into the studio.
Yeah, I mean, hey, my grandpa said you could drink before noon if you caught a fish. Well, 12:01, we can start drinking.
That's awesome.
Hey,
we do this show at 2:00. So there
exactly,
you go,
the show starts at 2.
drinking.
You're okay.
Sage advice.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm a big whiskey fan. Funny, we went on vacation back in mid-March to an all-inclusive, and they only had Scotch, and I don't like Scotch. I'm not a Scotch guy at all. I don't like the
Scotch.
I don't like it. Never been my thing, and I really miss not having whiskey down there. But anyway, be that as it may.
No, there's a
So I'm sure Ben has the question of what the best
craft beer.
Knife fight in a phone booth from Tattered Flag.
Okay,
they have some.
That sounds like a band.
Yeah, it does.
No, Tattered Flag. Their main location is Middletown, but they have a tasting room here in Lancaster.
Okay.
And Tattered Flag is where Scott and I record a decent number of our podcasts, just because the beer is great, the food is great, location is awesome. But their IPA, a knife fight in a phone booth, is hands down the best IPA in my opinion. And again, it's just an opinion. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at Jeff or Ben for asking the question. But it's a great.
Yeah,
IPA.
sorry for everybody else that he went to. He didn't mention.
There's always got to be a number one.
That's right. That's right.
So where are they? You said Tattered Flag tasting room.
Tattered Flag. They have a tasting room. Do you know where Fens used to be?
Yeah,
right there on Harrisburg Pike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right there.
That it? Oh wow.
Yeah,
very cool. Yeah, we went to Sukhothai as a family a week or two ago, and I didn't realize that's what that was now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Knife fight in the phone booth.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I can see people with guy liner on being in a band with that name. 100%.
Well, Tattered Flag is a veteran-owned company. So take the put some camouflage paint on instead, and then those are the guys you're going to get there.
Yeah, nice,
very cool.
Yeah, that is very neat. Thanks for I'm going to go home and have some of that Stolen Wolf tonight again.
There you go,
for sure. I was working through some
party at Jeff's house tonight.
Yeah, I was working through some bookers over the weekend, but because I had a bottle of that up at my campsite, because it's almost camping season. In Lancaster, you're going to see some camping photos coming up here because it's season 2 at the campsite where we camp as a family. So I was up this weekend opening it up, and lo and behold, I left a bottle of Booker's up there
conveniently.
Okay. So I, it was when you camp, you drink. It's just what I do.
That's what you do.
Whiskey around a campfire is one of the best things you can do. That's
right. That is right. So you also do this event called Live to Lead. What's that all about?
Yeah. It's Live to Lead is a half-day professional development event. It's a simulcast. So the speakers, it's a production of of Maxwell Leadership organization. They pick the speakers, and the speakers are live in Atlanta on the first Friday in October every year. Past speakers have included Simon Sinek, Dan Cathy, John Maxwell speaks every year. Phenomenal speakers with great information around, leadership, communication. Those are some of my sponsors for this year already. I'm excited to have them on board. But it's a community event where for those who are invested in themselves personally, companies bring their teams together for a morning of networking and professional growth. The 2 of the speakers this year announced are Pastor Eric Thomas.
You got ET on the show?
He's going to be there this.
Oh my goodness!
Yep, he's going to be there this fall.
Yeah,
so,
that guy.
I'm glad to hear you're familiar with ET.
He can light a fire for sure. He's very big in another circle I hang out with called the Apex Mastermind, and he's very well known in that group. And he's actually speaking at a friend of mine's event in June. And when he hit the list of speakers, like the pre-sale tickets went through the roof.
Oh wow! Okay. See, my tickets aren't even on sale yet because they're going to be announcing 2 more speakers. I'm not sure who they're going to be announcing quite yet, and or when they'll be announcing. But yeah, tickets for Live to Lead will go on sale sometime in early May, probably. But yeah, I'm excited about that.
Pastor Eric Thomas doesn't just speak anywhere. So he's a hard get on the speaking circuit. I know that for a fact.
John Maxwell has a lot more pull than I do, thankfully.
Yeah. So how does this? So you created the Kingdom Focus Summit. So how does this tie into Live to Lead? Tell us about that.
Well, two completely separate events.
Okay, two separate events. I'm sorry.
No, that's but there is a tie-in.
Oh, this is yours. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, Live to Lead. This would be my 9th year hosting Live to Lead. Live to Lead is a production of the John Maxwell Enterprises, and they pick the speakers, and it's simulcast. But there is a different feel. There's a different feel when you're live in the same room with the speakers, and it's a more personal audience. And I'm a person of faith, and Live to Lead is not a faith-based event explicitly. So I created the Kingdom Focus Summit to take place in the spring, because Live to Lead is always in the fall. So I wanted a live event in the spring, more explicitly faith-based, where I got to pick and choose who the speakers were going to be. So this is the 3rd year for Kingdom Focus Summit. It actually takes place here a little more than 2 weeks away. And Dallas Jenkins and Daryl Leaves are two of the the main focus speakers. I don't know if you're familiar with The Chosen. It's the highest grossing crowdfunded project ever. Wow. It tells the story The Chosen tells. It's going to be 7 seasons long. They've already done 2 seasons of it. It's free, available online, but it tells the story of the 3 years of Jesus's ministry. From once he launched his ministry to season 7, to talk about his death, and it tells that story of how he recruited the disciples, and the first 2 seasons have been introductions to the disciples. Dallas Jenkins was going to be here in person, but season 3 starts filming the same week that he was supposed to be here. And filming season 3 is more important than me, and I get that and I understand that. So, but Daryl Leaves is also co-founder. He's going to be here in person, and he does all their social media. He's helped, I think, multiple, 25 or 30 people, I think, get their YouTube gold buttons. So he's very big and very well known in some social media circles relative to, and he's going to talk about that aspect of the business behind The Chosen. And my other speakers are going to be phenomenal too: Pat Murdoch, Amy Millay, and Kylie and Michael Bolt. They're all going to be in person. It's a faith-focused event, but ties into business as well. And this is something, again, I created this after Live to Lead because that in-person aspect, is a huge difference.
Yeah.
Where is this event?
This is taking place at the Junction Center. WJTL, the local Christian radio station has their Landis Hall right there at the radio station. Great, awesome venue. Another, we talked about nonprofits earlier. WJTL is awesome little venue that a lot of people don't know about. To host, events when you get 250, 300, 400 people into it. So wow. That's where it's going to be.
Yeah, very good. For those listening, if you want to learn more about Kingdom Focus Summit, we had a link up on the screen as a thing we have to remind ourselves. Sometimes people catch this listening.
That's right.
So you would go to the Goble Group, and Goble is Goble, thegoblegroup.com/KFS for the Kingdom Focus Summit. That's coming up, what, the 28th? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, 2 weeks from Thursday. Yeah, yep. April 28th.
Yep, so it's coming around the corner.
Yeah.
And then Live to Lead in the fall, which is you're affiliated with. That's thegoblegroup.com/live to the number 2 lead, thegoblegroup.com/live to lead. Both look like great events. Obviously, locally here, if you're in and around the Lancaster County area, Central PA area, certainly something to check out. Looks like a great event there on the 28th of April.
Yeah, and both those events, I work with some awesome community sponsors, other small businesses who helped sponsor that event for me. To be, bringing in those live speakers is a huge undertaking from a financial standpoint. So it's a nice collaboration of several other small businesses that, make it happen. It's certainly not just me by myself. And I'm thankful for those small business partners. It's part of what Lancaster Connects is about, bringing community-focused organizations, from the for-profit world or the nonprofit world together to serve the community better. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I mean, first of all, creating something is always great. As you said, it's nice to have an outlet for your creativity, for your hobbies. Earlier in the show, I know personally from in past lives running a business where you have to fill events, having a place where you can fill up to 300-400 people, that's no small feat. So kudos to you. That's very awesome. And again, Kingdom Focus Summit, you go to the goblegroup.com/KFS, and you can check out all the details there. You've got one last little thing of value to offer our watchers and listeners. You've got some reading hacks. You see the bookshelf of books there over your shoulder. Obviously, books are important because you gave us a great little book prize pack that we'll be giving away at the end of the show. But what are your reading hacks? Because I've actually got a couple myself, but I want to hear what yours are.
Well, that's actually, a tease for a future product launch that I'm working on. It's an idea, in full disclosure, it's an idea I've been kicking around for a year and a half, 2 years. Because I love to read, and when I read, I read the hardback copies. We talked about earlier. I read physical copy, but I take notes, like extensive notes of what I read, and this is what they turn into. Like full page summaries kind of thing. These are the notes I take. So one of the things I'm going to be doing, with this, is creating an online membership group that shares the summaries of the books, as well as 4 to 5 minute videos about key topics from the book. Because so many people I talk to say, I wish I could read more, and I wish I could read more. And I'm going to test it out to see, okay, do you really want to read more, or do you just want the shortcut? Do you want the hack to get there quicker? So I'll give you the summary. I'll give you 4 or 5 videos per book about specific topics that will be beneficial for you as an individual, personally, or for your business. So that's a little bit forward thinking. I was hoping to have that launched before Kingdom Focus Summit, but a few other opportunities popped up that I needed to take advantage of while they were there. So look for that to publish late May or early June.
Yeah, very
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to read. I've studied and learned how to speed read. So that's kind of my hack, is you have to kind of learn the structure of a book, what the author lays out, what the author finds is important, and you kind of set up those milestones, which I'm sure you're aware of, and you kind of read to them and move through the rest of it pretty quickly. For me, it works. It may not work for everybody, but yeah, very cool. I think it will be well received in the marketplace, because people they just want the details.
Yeah.
Right. You can give it to them. That's great. Very cool.
We're going to test that out and see how that plays. And, as long as it's adding value, and I'm reading the books anyway, I'm not going to stop reading the books. I'm not going to stop taking my notes, because they've helped me grow my business. They've helped me work with my clients to grow their businesses, and might as well share the wealth.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Very good.
You ready for Connection Cocktail, Steve?
Absolutely.
I'd like to get to know you even more.
Even more better.
Even more better.
What does the cocktail include whiskey though?
We've
not yet had a live version of the cocktail.
It's gonna next week. We're just gonna do it.
Okay.
We're
there
gonna
you go.
drink whiskey. That'll be hilarious.
Okay.
Well, Jeff, are you on the rocks or you're neat?
Depends on the whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to do it neat, but to each their own.
Yep. Yeah, it depends. It depends on the mood I'm in. It depends. That's the answer.
Yeah. Whiskeys do different things with rocks.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's, yeah.
Yep.
So, Steve, how long have you lived in Lancaster? You a Lancaster native?
No, I'm an import.
Okay.
I've been here about 20 years, give or take. I came to Lancaster for a girl and married a different one. So,
all right.
and my mother-in-law is still alive, and as long as she's still alive in here, I can't leave.
Where's home before Lancaster?
Everywhere. I grew up as a military kid. I was born in Germany.
Okay.
I've lived in Maine, Maryland, New York, Louisiana.
Wow.
So my wife and I got married in Maine. But I only lived there for a year and a half, but I did graduate high school there. So Maine has a special place in my heart for cool. Several reasons. But home is where my wife and kids are.
Very good. Cool. Very good. What's your favorite restaurant to go to?
And you can't say the tattered flag because you've already said that.
I was going to a little bit. Well, no, there's so many good local restaurants. This is hard to narrow down just one. But I'll go with the most recent. I had lunch today at the Tin Roof Cafe in Ephrata. It's a relatively new location, maybe a year old now, maybe just under a year old. But a small little family-run cafe, coffee shop, frozen yogurt. It's the Tin Roof Cafe. It's a great food, great environment, and I'd like to go there to read sometimes as well.
Is that right on Main Street in Ephrata?
No, it's in Cloister Shopping Plaza.
Okay.
There's there used to be a Yogurt Works ice cream place on the corner end of it, and they took that space over. But Tin Roof Cafe, phenomenal.
Yeah, I had there was a restaurant space that unfortunately closed down during COVID, and I knew another restaurant had moved in, so I was kind of thinking it might have been that one. But either way,
I think that's
check out the Tin Roof.
Yeah,
Tin Roof Cafe. All right.
Yeah.
So 20 years of being in Lancaster, you have to have an opinion on the convenience store that you prefer: Turkey Hill, Sheetz, Rutter's, or Wawa. We got to know.
Wawa, only because it's the closest to my house.
Okay, so you're right down. True convenience.
It's a true convenience decision.
It is. And of the food, Wawa does it best, I think. I really do believe that. But really it's a proximity issue. I live in Akron. So there's a Wawa right down, a mile and a half from our house down in Ephrata, and it's mostly a proximity issue. But they do have some great food there sometimes.
Yep. Cool. Well, thanks for playing along.
Yeah. Hey. Good. And thanks for being our guest. We really appreciate your time and what you shared with everybody. We'll be giving away your gift pack here in a second. But if you want to be a guest on our show, you just very simple. Go to lancasterconnects.com/guest. Like Steve did. Steve, was very easy, right?
Oh, it was incredibly simple. Incredibly simple.
Easy. So just go there, lancasterconnects.com/guest, and fill out the form, and we'll arrange to have you on the show. If you're a local charity, connected to a charity, have a charity you volunteer for that you'd love to have us highlight, please do connect us. We're always looking for great charities to highlight and great small businesses focused on helping the community. So that's that. We're going to get the Prizelator started up. We got a Sleep Better tip to go over first, and then testimonial. What are we going to switch this up this time, or not? Or are you ready with the testimonial?
I'm ready with the testimonial.
Okay, I should have asked that like an hour and a half ago.
You know me, I got to prepare for things.
Right. So your Sleep Better tip. So we give you this great Sleep Better book that we'll mail out. You can get that at gardnersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better. We will send it out to you for free. But sleep hygiene is something that's very important. So this is the time you go to bed, what you put in your body before you go to bed. So food, when you should stop eating, and really the light that comes off of your phone, blue light, which that couldn't have really been better because it's blue. But sleep hygiene is really important. So like no caffeine after 2:00. Try to stop eating by 7 or 8 o'clock. Try to stop blue light by 8 p.m. if you can. So that means, glasses with blue light protection on them, or there's blue light blocking glasses you can buy if you wear contacts or don't need corrective lenses. You can just wear them and it keeps the light out of your eyes. Certainly not doing this in bed at night when you're in bed with the lights off and then the blue light's even more intense. All of this stuff tricks your body and takes your body and mind away from the shutdown mode. And it really does impact your sleep. You may not feel it, but I guarantee you in the morning, the weeks, the months, the years that go on, if you don't have these positive sleep hygiene habits, you will pay the price later in life for poor quality of sleep. So we'll give you those tips and more in the Sleep Better book. Go to gardnersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better, and we'll get you the book.
You mentioned the tricks that the brain plays, or that your sleep can play. So I've had the puppy for now a week. Sleeping is getting better. We were the first night or two, we were up every 2 or 3 hours, and we're trying to switch off, my wife and I. But a few nights ago, we've been now getting up just once in the middle of the night. I get up, it's probably like 2:30, go into the bathroom, and I start brushing my teeth, and then I didn't even think anything of it. I went downstairs, and then I let the dog out. I went back up and went back to bed. And Lindsay in the morning goes, "Did you brush your teeth last night?" I'm like, "Oh, I think I did." Come to think of it, I think I did brush my teeth. So I was all out of whack.
Yeah.
Just thought it was like a normal morning. So yeah, that sleep hygiene is important. My sleep hygiene is poor right now. So
what kind of puppy did you get?
Golden Doodle. She's great. Yeah, she's like 9 weeks old and all puppy for sure. So Jeff, I'm going to give you a shout out with our testimonial. So Jim from Lancaster gave us a review on Google over the weekend and said he met the owners, Jeff and Ben of Gardeners, at the Lancaster Home Show in mid-January. So that was pre-haircut. He says, Jeff and I talked at length, and I told him that my wife and I would visit the store. Jeff offered to send an email to their manager, Drew, so he would be pre-introduced to the conversation that you had with him. And due to scheduling conflicts on both, mostly ours on both sides, we didn't get together until late March. Drew was most welcoming. His no-pressure, friendly approach mixed with an outstanding knowledge yielded a perfect match for both my wife and my sleeping styles. Now we have a new mattress, and both of us are sleeping much better. Well done, Drew, and we wholeheartedly recommend Gardeners for anyone who deserves the best in mattresses and service.
So I sent an email, and Jim slept really well. There we go.
There you go.
Just the way it's supposed to work.
So he was, we did that, the home show. It's a great way to meet people, of course, in Lancaster. And we often have great conversations that start there about poor sleep, and they transfer over here to the store. And of course, the experience with Drew matched up with the experience you had, or he had with you at the home show. So
Yep. Very good.
Happy to hear that Jim is sleeping much better.
That's right.
Yep.
It's always our goal. All right, Steve, I think it's time to give away your prize pack. So Steve was gracious enough to donate 3 books.
One he autographed.
Yeah, Know What You're For by Jeff Henderson. John Maxwell, who, if you don't know who John Maxwell is, you should. John Maxwell, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. Great book there. I actually have that book at home. And then this one, Steve, you were a co-author of this book, Discover Your Team's Potential. You've signed and autographed your chapter, little bookmark in there too. So this is what we're giving away. Steve, thank you so much for donating that.
Well, hey, thank you guys. I mean, you guys are often giving away, gift cards to restaurants, which is awesome. But got to give away some books. They can read them, and instead of dealing with that blue light from the phones, they can read a book at night now on their Gardner mattress.
Food for the brain instead of food for the belly.
There we go.
Brain and life food.
Yes.
Life. Anyway, prize later time. Let's spin it away. We got a couple new names this week too, so that's good.
And you are still at a rating of 5.
I am.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Rodney, my fellow 5-star haircut brother.
There you go.
Rodney, you are our winner. So we will tag you back there in the comments on the show that you won our prize pack in case you jumped off. But we will have that here at the store at Gardeners Mattress and More for you. You can come in anytime we're open and pick that up. We will have that for you. We'll put your name on it. All right. Steve, thank you again. Very generous of you to donate that. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your time for joining us on the show this week. Congratulations, Rodney. It looks like Rodney actually joined us from LinkedIn, so we'll reach out there and make sure we connect with Rodney to get him the gift. All right.
Awesome.
We are just at the top of the hour. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Steve, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate your time. It was a pleasure to get to know you. Thanks for all you do with Power Packs, and best of luck with the events coming up.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, very good. See you, Lancaster. See you next week.